And now, coming to you live from an undisclosed location somewhere in the Ozark Mountains, it's Spooky Talk Show with Josh the Devil. And now, here he is, Josh the Devil.
Hey, oh boy, howdy, there we are. Wyatt, are you with us?
I'm with you. How are you, bro?
I'm
you doing okay?
I'm good. Hey, everybody, welcome to Spooky Talk Show. I'm Josh the Devil. That's Wyatt right there. And boy, have we got a good show. You know what we don't have, Wyatt?
What do you not have?
We don't have anybody in our studio audience. I'm looking over here at the participants in our Zoom studio audience, and it's just me, the host, poor old just Josh, just... So,
why is that? Where is everybody tonight? Is everyone out, like, are they hiding from the COVID? What's going on?
maybe the COVID is out roaming the streets here of Arkansas, and so maybe that's where they are. I don't know. Now you actually had a really good idea, and of course I didn't listen to you, and so maybe that's why we don't have any participants. But you said we should. Give them a real reason to get in there. Using that big brain of yours, you were like, maybe we should give people something, give them an incentive, give them something away, and I think that's a really good idea. So what I think we'll do is we've got our little Teespring store with T-shirts and mugs and stickers, and so what I think maybe we'll do next week is everybody that participates can get. Maybe like a discount code, like a really good one, like a real good one, something like that. Or maybe I just buy everybody a sticker or something and send it to them for free, or I don't know, something like that. But I think that's.
I like it. I think it's a good idea, man. Give the people a reason, Make it a contest, make it a competition, get some excitement in there. Because it's a great show. People need to be watching. People need to be playing at home.
Well, I like the idea, but I got a feeling some of our Zoom studio audience members from last week are going, but what about us, Josh? We were there and you didn't give us anything. Well,
then they need to come back. That's what they need to do.
Okay, well, there we go. They'll come back, and if they come back, then they'll get one. And you know what? It's not too late. If you jump into our, let me see, I think I can even send the link into our chat. Let me see if I can do that. It says it did it. So, maybe it did. Let me see. Yeah, okay, there we go. So hopefully that just sent a link. Yeah, you know what? It did. I saw it happen. It did. It's in there. So if you're watching live, you can jump over into our chat section there if possible, and you can find the link. Or you can jump over to Spooky Talk Show on Facebook, facebook.com/Spooky Talk Show, and then you will also be able to find the link and then jump over there. And what's this? Well, it looks like we've got someone in our studio, and it's Jeff Morgan has arrived. Jeff, how are you? Hey, all right. Hold on, let me unmute you. Let me click the button that says "Ask to Unmute."
How are y'all doing?
Hey, doing real good, Jeff. Good to see ya. Thanks for coming back. Jeff was with us last week, and had his bass and was playing bass riffs. It was hard to concentrate while I was doing the show because I could see him just jamming out some bass licks. So if you want to be like Jeff and you want to jump in our studio audience, I'm gonna have to mute you there again, Jeff. Sorry about that. Don't take that personal. Then you can jump over there too. See, just like Jeff, and hopefully. Somebody else will come in and we'll have a studio audience and not just Jeff watching and laughing. Well, we do have a really good show today. We got some good content. We got some good jokes from our head writer, Paul Hodge. And we've got a really good interview with Aaron Sarlo from Techno Squid Eats Parliament and Dangerous Idiots and Duckstronaut and Kid City. That's right. And he tells all kinds of tales, and he brought us a clip. Yeah, a clip. He brought a clip. We're gonna watch. I'm gonna go, Wyatt, let's go to the tape, or whatever, and we'll go to the tape, and we'll watch the clip. Won't that be neat?
I can't wait. I love a clip. I love a good clip.
I know. Now, we did have a clip when Maverick Knox was on, because we had a clip of his trailer Rook, but I just kind of called him on the phone after we ran the clip. That wasn't really the same thing. So this is nice because he could actually set it up for us and all of that stuff. So that's coming up on the show. Aren't you guys excited? Woo-hoo. I know I am. Honestly, I'm just kind of dragging this out a little bit because I'm hoping that we'll get a few more people in our studio audience for me to read the monologue jokes for. But I don't know. Well, we can talk a little bit. Normally in a talk show situation, the two hosts would, get together ahead of time, maybe the week in between each show, and talk about
That's ridiculous.
something. But
Like
we
planning?
didn't. Yeah, like planning. Yeah, we didn't really do that.
Who does that? That's crazy. Come on.
Every
do you really
other
need all
show,
that
I
planning
think.
time?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, at least a little. At least a little. Well, what happened to you between last week and this week, Wyatt? What's been going on?
So my power steering went out on my Honda, so I went to get that fixed, and then that didn't get fixed $1,400 later. So I get to go back to the shop this week. So I'm kind of just in limbo with the car. I'm social distancing, being real boring. A whole bunch of nothing. I was hoping something good happened to you because I've got nothing.
Well, let me see.
What you got?
Well, I do want to say I got this really awesome tie. Now, it's going to be hard to get on camera here, just how awesome it is. This was a early birthday present from my beautiful girlfriend, Blake. And it's really awesome. And you're going, well, it just looks like a tie at the end. But if we flip it over here, you can check out the label. It's an official. Well, let me see. Can I go to camera too? Is that any better? It's an official Furs safety tie. That's right. Oh, and it's enough to knock my microphone right off my tie. That's right. It's for those of you crazy YouTube nuts like me who just sit around and watch hours and hours. Well, then you know that Colin Furs is an awesome British YouTuber who makes the most insane things you've ever seen. And for some reason, his official product line includes the Colin Furs safety tie. Now, why is it a safety tie? Does it break away so that you don't get strangled in something? No. So I'm not sure why it's a safety tie. But it makes me want to do the safety dance. Oh! Little rim shot there. Yeah. No. I was able to pick up a little set of earbuds so that I'm not using my giant 1976 Pioneer monsters for the show. They sound great, but they're a little big and heavy for doing something like this. You'll see them when I do the interview with Aaron later, and you'll be like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe an earbud was the right move there, Josh. Oh, boy.
I don't know. I kind of like the 1970s Howard Cosell, like Muhammad Ali interview kind of look. It's
This
nice.
is
We need to
Josh
get you like a
the
yellow
devil.
sport jacket and make you get you the little microphone with the big bulb at the top.
Oh, yeah, very,
And so you can be all
yeah.
official 1970s.
Yeah, little fuzzball on the top, almost real skinny. I could just break the antenna off the old TV here and put a fuzzball on the end of it. It'd look exactly the same.
Oh yeah, whatever works. I mean, really, this is show business, So what the audience sees and what's going on, those are two different things. So we'll get you a little mic. We'll get you a little mic. You'll look real cute. We'll get more people that way, I'm sure.
So I don't look cute now? All right, well, okay.
Well, we could all do better. All of us.
Okay.
Not just you.
Well, I guess it's time to get into the monologue jokes. There's nothing left, which means, sadly for Jeff, I'm going to ask you to unmute because you're our sole studio audience member.
Yeah.
So it's up to you to decide. Wait, see, look at this. Isn't this neat, Wyatt? I can rotate you around like.
Ooh, I like it. It's like I get to see the whole home.
And if let me see if I scoot you over this way, you might also be able to even see the graphics. Let's see if we can get it here. Yeah. Because, Wyatt, beloved TV host Regent Philbin passed away last week at the age of 88. And we'd like to use our phone a friend to call 2020 and call it a bitch.
Oh. Yeah, I was thinking, nobody threw him a lifeline. I kind of felt bad for him.
Yeah, everybody was thinking those jokes. Paul, I'm sorry I butchered your joke. That wasn't you, that was me. But what I can weigh in on is, where are they? There they are. Financial experts are weighing in on the financial implications of a divorce between Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, amid rumors of a strain in their relationship after Kanye said he had to talk Kim out of aborting their oldest child during his, probably fake, presidential campaign rally. Forbes named West a billionaire in April because of his stake in Yeezy, whatever the hell that is. Kardashian has a net worth of estimated $370 million. Now, the real story here is just how profitable it can be to be a garbage human being.
Wow. It's how that is sad but true. But
sad
yeah, you're
but
right
true.
About that.
Well, the NBA
Maybe we should be worse people.
The NBA has its players and personnel in an upscale quarantine that they're calling the bubble before its season resumes July 30th. Now, recently, Los Angeles Clippers guard Lou Williams was granted permission to attend a funeral outside the bubble, but he must now quarantine because while he was out, he went to the strip club. Now, he's going to miss 2 games and lose approximately $150,000 in salary. That seems fair. The last time I went to a strip club, I felt like I should quarantine too.
Nice.
Which was 1990. I don't know, somewhere in there. 1997. I don't know. Okay, don't want to think about that. But Facebook, on the other hand, they've agreed to pay a $650 million. They've agreed to pay $650 million to settle a class action lawsuit over its use of facial recognition software without consent. How bad was the judge's tagged photo, you guys? Must have been pretty bad. Hacksaw. My new thing. Anytime a joke doesn't land, bringing in Hacksaw, because can't go wrong with the Hacksaw. You say his name 3 times and he appears. Hacksaw, Hacksaw, Hacksaw. Oh, see, I told you.
Don't do that. He's going to come through the studio, tear everything up. You don't want that.
I don't know. I kind of think I do. All right.
Okay, man.
All right, not tonight.
All right,
not tonight. But we'll keep that in mind. Microsoft founder Bill Gates, seen here just like watching TV in the middle of the night, I guess, recently said a coronavirus vaccine might take multiple doses to work. Maybe we'd rather hear from doctors, than a guy who can't keep viruses off his computers. I don't know how much he really has to do with that aspect of the business anymore, but that's irrelevant for our jokey purposes, isn't it? That's right. And finally, U.S. officials recently raided the Chinese consulate in Houston that was believed to be a spy hub. China will now have to resort to stealing information freely given to them by TikTok users. And maybe a little, because we didn't get that, and on some Hacksaw. There he is. All right, well, those are our monologue jokes for the week.
Well done. Nice.
Thank you. Jeff liked it, so
We're stepping up.
That's
well.
good enough, honestly. Let's see if I can give you a little. Look, you can probably see Jeff now. You guys can wave at each other. It's amazing.
Just say hello to each other. Very nice.
And then I'll pull the mic off my time. No! No! Okay.
For a safety tie, it doesn't hold a mic very well.
No,
What's going on with that?
Really doesn't. Colin, come on our show. I want to talk about this tie. Let's go back over here and fix Wyatt's glare. There we go. Now, I've still got to, I want to come up with some kind of head, with no face, and then we'll flip it, sideways, and then we can have some fun. Now, if you flip your phone sideways, honestly, I think I could probably wedge this thing into the Iron Man helmet, and we can just make it look like you're Iron Man inside the helmet.
I could just do the show like this.
Well,
like if you want to give it a shot tonight.
Well, no, I mean I think it's.
If we've got the time, I don't know. We might not have the time.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all right.
We'll figure it out. We'll
That's
get it next week. Who knows?
Is that?
That'll give us something to shoot for.
Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, joining us in our studio audience, Tony from Black Sabbath. Tony, how are you? Welcome. No, he said no. He's all right. No, he says no. All right. Well, that's okay. That's all right. All right, Tony, come back and do an interview with us. See, you could be doing funny things in our studio audience too, couldn't you? Yes, you could. You've probably got something.
And getting free stuff.
The first night when we tested it, there was a guy who just wanted to run little videos of animals having sex, and then sadly it devolved into like Nazis and things. And there was another guy who was just eating a sandwich with his mouth open, his food fell out. I didn't really have it set up so we could do a lot of flipping back and forth, but I do now. And where are those people now? Come on, Nazi guy or sandwich guy.
We need a better set of friends.
All right, well, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, well, we're gonna. I guess it's time to go to our interview. Let's check in with our studio audience. Is it time to go to the interview studio audience? All right. Well, I mean, there you go. So let's take a look. Like I said, Aaron Sarlo. If you didn't see our show last week, you got to go back and watch because we were essentially forced to do an interview with Aaron Sarlo, and that's okay. I mean, I didn't mind. But so the interview went great, and I recorded it so that you can watch it, and we're gonna watch it together now, aren't we? And if I push this button, we should see it. Hey, Aaron, are you there? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes, sounds good. All right. Hey, thanks so much for joining us. I mean, not like we really had a choice. Now, we totally would have had you on the show. All you had to do was send us an email or send us a message. You went through all that trouble to hack in. That must have been a giant pain in the ass.
It wasn't me. It was about 40 of my very close incel friends. And they're in really good with those anonymous people. And, hacking into a YouTube live broadcast is pretty elementary. There's really not a lot to it.
Really?
Oh, and I knew you would have had me on, but I mean, isn't it more fun when I totally force my way into your situation without asking permission? I mean, that's more fun, right?
Yeah, I guess that's more of a fun way to do it, I guess. All right, and no harm done. It was a nice little exchange. So yeah.
It could have been much more R-rated. Let's just
true.
me.
You did censor yourself, and I appreciate that.
I thought this is YouTube. This is a family audience. I'll keep the F-bombs out of it. So,
I like that. It was very reminiscent of the Max Headroom hack. That's what it reminded me of. So, for those of you who don't know, you got to watch. There's a guy back in the '80s hacked into a CBS broadcast.
In what? During the what?
During the 1980s.
You've lost me. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Let's talk about what's going on with you now. Like 4 years ago, you had a son. And that changed everything because you were Mr. Work, Work, Work. You were playing in as many bands as you could and recording as much as you could and writing and starting side projects of side projects. So then whammo, the breaks, kid, now it's family time. So I have to assume the musical wheels in your head didn't stop turning.
No.
What's been going on in that world? Now you had Kid City and Dangerous City. It's both those nice current working projects. When the family time happened, and what's going on? What's going on with those bands?
Well, no, you're right. In 2015, my wife and I found out we were pregnant, and I had all these projects going. I had all these songs. In development, finished, track, but the vocals were done. So I took all of my bands into the studio and tracked every damn song, bass and drums and basic tracks, and then just shelved it until my son was born because I knew that I just want to be a dad. I don't want to. I mean, there's a story. I was at outside my house, my old house I lived in. I was playing with Magnus. He was about 3, and a neighbor walks up. He's about 55, 60. He says, "How old's your little boy?" I said 3. He said, "Man, it's great years that age." I said, "Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun." He said, "I used to travel a lot for my job, and I missed the first few years of my son's life. And if I could go back and do it again, I'd just quit that job and stay home with him." And I said, "Well, that's what I'm doing." I just know that the first 3 or 4 years of a kid's life is, I mean, getting to watch that. There's nothing like it. It's completely. If there's anything magical in this world, and there's probably not, 'cause this place largely sucks. But if there's anything magical in this world, it's little kids, and they just want to play. They just want you to love them. They don't have an agenda. They just want to be little kids, and just being around that is great. It's way better than playing music. But
yeah, I agree.
I also like to play music, and so I did have all those songs. I parked them. And just Bailey was with Magnus for all these years. But my wife and I bought this house last year, and I set up this studio. And Magnus is 4 now, and now I'm able to get these songs out and keep track of them. Yeah. I mean, back in 2015 when I stopped playing, Jake, the Dangerous Idiots bass player, great guy. He said to me, right after Magnus was born, he said, "Hey, Aaron, you know how many shows we played in 2014? I go, "I don't know." He goes, "Like 98. I go, "Oh, a lot." Wow. He goes, "Do you know how many shows he played in 2015? No, he goes, "Like 83. I went, "Yeah." He goes, "You know how many shows we played in 2016? I went, He goes, "Like 12. Book more shows. I'm like, "Okay, I will." But so yeah, I've been getting all those old tracks out and finishing them up. And I mean, it's like from those sessions, there's more than 40 songs from those sessions alone.
Wow.
That I've been working on. Kid City has a full album, Dangerous Idiots. There's like 3 Dangerous Idiots records there.
Oh, we've got.
I don't have I'm not one of these dudes that knock on wood, that where I don't have material. It just is always there. It's always been there since before I knew I was a musician. There was always just random songs in my head. I'll tell you one. When I was 6 or 7, I wrote my first song. It was to remember my friend Brett's phone number. And it goes 393-2478, 393-2478. So since then, I've been keyed into music. And so I just have a shit ton of music. And I love playing music. And so I'm getting them all finished now.
So that's Kid City and Dangerous Idiots. We've got a Kid City record. We've got a trio of Dangerous Idiots records. Are they going to be released single, or are we going to do like a Sandinista type thing?
Man, I'm thinking about just releasing singles from I don't think albums. I just don't think they're valid anymore. Yeah. People release albums, and people get excited about Taylor Swift's new album. But as far as like, if you're just some band that most people don't know, just give them a song.
Yeah, sure.
There's too much music out there. Just give them a song. Let them digest one song for a little bit, then give them another song. That's what I think.
That's good advice. Well, aside from Kid City and Dangerous Idiots, we got Duckstronaut. What about, have we got some unreleased Duckstronaut material that we might surface? An album's worth, perhaps, or at least an EP?
At least an EP, probably an album. Again, depending on actually, there's it's going to be previously unreleased stuff because we were a band for a while since 2013, and really Kid City became Kid City from the members of Duckstronaut. It's sort of. Oh, I see. It's sort of. But yeah, and there's a brand new Duckstronaut song that we wrote at the very last minute before we stopped playing together, and it's a barn burner. It's really good. It's a dulcimer song. It's literally dulcimer, bass, drums, and vocals, and theremin keyboard. Oh. There's no guitar.
No guitar. Interesting.
Yeah, and same thing with Kid City. There's 2 tracks, or at least 2 tracks. Maybe it's just one. I'm trying to think now. But there's at least 1 track, maybe 2 on Kid City record. They're just dulcimer, bass, drums, and vocal. No guitar. I like guitar, but I think I like dulcimer better. It's a lot of fun to play.
Well, if you don't need it, then you don't have to put it in there. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Man, in neither one of those bands, the bass player Matt Rakes, if you know him,
I do.
He could play just his bass, and I wouldn't have to play a note on any instrument, and it would be great.
Yeah.
The dude's great.
Yeah,
So.
just vocals, bass, and drums works if you have the right bass player.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm blessed with bass players. Matt Rakes and Jake Rutherford. I don't want for bassing. It's all
Bass players are hard to find
good
in
stuff.
this state too. If you find a couple of good ones, you hang on to them with dear life. That's kind of the way it is. Now, before all of that, going way back in time, we got Techno Squiddy's Parliament. Now, we thought we'd seen the last of Techno Squiddy's Parliament, but just a handful of years ago, you guys were like, "We're not dead yet. Here's a new record. Remember us?" And a lot of us were like, "Yes, we do. Finally, give it to us." And so, what is there? Is there any unreleased Techno Squid stuff that we might get, or a lot of Techno Squid stuff that we might get? I was fortunate enough to see, probably 10 or 12 Techno Squid shows at a very young age, and kind of in the big heyday. I had the enhanced CD that would, according to some experts, could break your stereo if you.
Which it never did.
Which it never did. I guess that was just an urban legend or something.
No, do you know the story behind that?
I've heard.
Someone floated that rumor. Someone floated that rumor. I don't know why. But
more sales.
Maybe that'd be funny. But if you remember the album, the Techno Squid album, one of the first bands, it was a CD. We put record scratches at the beginning of the record and at the end of the last song, almost as if when you hit play, almost as if you're listening to a record.
An album, yeah, sure.
And so some people out there pressed play on the record, heard those record scratches, and thought, "Oh, my stereo is frying itself," and turned it off.
People are so silly.
More than one time we have to go, no, that was intentional. Just not destroying your stereo. Just keep playing it. Oh, okay.
Oh gosh. Well,
there's some place online, some website named us the worst named band in rock and roll history. I was like, that's pretty great. That's pretty great.
You could also add most memorable band in rock, or band name in rock. I mean, that's
one of them. I mean, there's some good band names out there.
It's on. I would say it's on the list. If it's on the list for worst, I have to say it's on the list for most memorable. Because I mean, okay. When you see flyer after flyer after flyer, and every show has 5 bands on it, and it's all truck or this, or something, or they're trying way too hard, or just trying to sound really heavy, and it's all just that. And then you see Techno Squid Eats Parliament. That's the one I'm curious about. What does Techno Squid Eats Parliament sound like?
Numerous people we met specifically because of the reason you just stated, all over the country, including our manager Ron Shelton, who saw that and were like, "Well, I got to see what the hell that band's like."
Yeah, that makes sense. So I think that the name is better than that guy gives it credit for. So
but to answer your question,
give me some music. Give me some. What do we got? Give me unreleased songs that I haven't heard, or maybe haven't heard since you guys played it live the last time I saw you 100 years ago.
So currently, Techno Squid Eats Parliament, because we released that album in 2015 and played that show. We're back. What did we miss? So currently we have I think 4 songs we're tracking fresh new right now.
Oh.
Two brand new written ones and 2 old ones back in the day that never got released but should have.
Oh.
So we're working on that at our own separate homes right now because #COVID. But
Sure.
There's a bunch of unreleased Techno Squid stuff from basically live 2-track sessions we did at Ardent Records from 93 to 95. And there's at least 3 sessions that I can think of off the top of my head. That's all unreleased, and it was, like I said, tracked at Ardent, so it all sounds great. And I would like to discuss with the guys releasing that at some point, because why not? I mean,
I remember
it's a fun song, recorded at a great place.
Yeah, it sounds great.
People want to hear them. Let's F it.
I was fortunate enough to hear some of the stuff, at least from one of those sessions where you guys went to Ardent and just kind of set up and jammed. And it seems like the timing of when you guys went, or when you were playing the most number of shows, so you guys must have been pretty damn tight, because when I listened to it for a live performance that was just mixed really well, it was spot on. You couldn't tell it was live. It just sounded like you laid down the drums and bass, went back in. I mean, it didn't sound like it was live to 2-track or whatever. It sounded really good. So
that band lived on the road, so definitely we were well rehearsed. I mean...
So recorded in Art Studios, amazing, good engineer, producer. You got the killer microphones, killer sounding room.
Oh yeah,
we want to hear all of that stuff. So, well, that's good. That's good news. Now, you and Clay Bell, we had Clay Bell on the show not that long ago, and talked to him. He's out there in the San Fran doing his thing and doing his solo stuff and doing those pop rock shows. Every time I see photos from one of those, it's hard to believe that I know a guy that does a thing like that, because it almost doesn't look real. It's like, look at this. It's like something a friend of mine would send me and go, look at this photo of this band. Oh yeah, I know that guy. But anyway, so you guys go way back. Tell us about that. How did TechnoSquid form? And you guys, how did you and Clay meet and get started?
Clay and I met and I didn't do that stuff. I'm sorry, man. I swear a lot.
Okay.
I didn't do that, and this is really hard to not swear. I mean, just like every other word is an F-bomb. I just can't. I love it.
If a few slip through, it's not a big deal.
But I look over at the new kid who's just transferred from California, I think. He's got an Army helmet on. It's Clay. He's got an Army helmet on that he has glued or taped random household objects. There was a can of Lysol, there was just random, maybe a pine cone, random household objects to it. So it was a giant collection of random things on a, army green helmet. And I looked over across, I was like, that kid's probably fun. And I walked over and I said, hey, I'm Aaron. What's your name, Clay? And I said, hey, I like your hat. He said, thanks. I said, can I blow a fireball off your Lysol can? And he said, sure. So in class, I had a friend, Jonathan Warren. I think it was Jonathan Warren. I said, Jonathan, distract the teacher. And I literally got a lighter out and took his Lysol and the teacher looks over and like, hey, and he never saw it. And that's how we met.
Wow.
I blew Lysol fireballs off of a crazy hat of his. And he won the contest that day. And they gave him, you know what the prize was?
What was the prize?
A visor.
A visor. You're talking about like
yeah.
You pull down.
It was a crappy green.
Was it clear?
Like
was it
hey, I'm a banker.
Translucent, or was it like a cloth fabric visor?
No. Well, God, let me see. It was like a tennis visor with white, and then the green was the same. It was like, like he was gonna, deny your loan and then go out and play a couple of games of tennis with you right after.
Oh, I love it.
So, but yeah, Clay he famously didn't want to learn guitar. His dad was a musician, and Clay was like, I don't want to do the tour thing. It's a really rough life. And I played guitar for a year or something less than that, and I said, hey man, check out the chords to Wild Thing by the Trogs, A, D, and E.
Sure.
And I taught him those three chords, basic, yeah. Also G, C, and we played that song all summer and just giggled at how silly it was, how simple it was, how famous it was for being so simple. And that was what started Clay and I making music together, was just kind of playing the Trogs over and over and musing about how ridiculous it is that people do this for a living and it's just A, D, and E. And then we started writing songs and performing. Our first gig was at a place called Gators. Do you remember Gators?
I do remember Gators.
Oh, man.
That seems like a really rough place to do a first gig to me.
We were playing for a little while, and like 20, 30 minutes into it, the owner comes up and goes, hey, you guys are terrible, and you need to leave right now. So, like, okay, well, can we have our $50? No, go.
Wow.
So we went home and wrote a song called Gator Sucks. Wouldn't even give us our $50 because Gator sucks.
What can you tell us about this first set that was so bad that made him ask you to leave?
We were, because we were 19 and we were not any good. No, we were.
So it
we
didn't
were
matter
bad.
what song you played, you were just bad.
We were terrible, absolutely terrible. And
but is there a recording of Gator Sucks? Tell me there's a recording of Gators Sucks.
Not yet. Not yet. We'll get it down. If he remembers the rest of the lyrics, I'll be okay with it.
Okay.
So that was our first gig, but the summer or something before that, for graduation, I got a little bit of money, like $100 or something, and I worked at a store and stayed together. I bought my first 4-track home studio recording, or home studio set. It was a Yamaha MT-102 4-track recorder.
Yeah, classical 4-track recorder. That's how a lot of people get started.
Well, me too.
Or it used to be, anyway. now it's a laptop, but
people like to poo-poo digital recording, but it's just like, are you crazy? Do you know what I used to have to do to record my songs?
Yeah, it was.
I wish I had GarageBand when I was 18.
There's a lot of setup in the past, sure.
Yep. So me and Clay tracked every song we wrote on that machine until we got signed to Ardent and let them record our music.
Wow. So how many tapes would you estimate that you guys recorded on there? How many could you even go? Because, for those of you guys who don't know, when you're recording on a 4-track cassette or any cassette-based multi-track recorder, it goes at a high speed to give you a good quality. So you can't use both sides. So 2-3 songs, unless you're doing a punk rock band, it's more like 5.
Right, they're about 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Each tape averages 3 or 4 songs, because I did squeeze a lot. I mean, there's a couple of tapes that literally go all the way to the end, and the little leader at the end of the tape cuts off the song. Like, the song was still going, but
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, how big of an archive did you make it? Do you still have all of these?
I still have all of them. I've been transposing them. In January, before this COVID stuff hit, I was going into Wolfman Studios and transposing all of them to digital, so I can fly them into a digital workstation at home and make them sound better than they ever did, kind of thing.
Clean them up and
try to get some hits.
Sure.
I don't want to change any of it, but I definitely want to, because when you're mixing a 4-track back in the day, you have to remember, the solo starts here and the thing, you got to do it manually. I'd rather just automate all of that, and so I can just know that it's how I want it to sound. I never have gotten a pristine mix out of any of those songs until now. Now it's like, okay, well, like the one I sent you, the video I sent you. That's one of the songs. You
actually did. You sent us the clip. I think we can take a watch now. Should we watch it now?
Now is as good a time as any.
All right. Here we go. Why don't you set it up for us? This may be the first time we've had somebody actually come in with a clip that we were going to show during the interview. So we'll do this all professional style, like I've never done before. Set us up. So what's the name of the song? Give us a little rundown here.
The song is called Pictures. So it was recorded in 1991. Might have been early 92, but it was before we were signed. I knew that much. I think I'm playing every instrument. Even it's a drum machine, but I think I was also playing the drum on another track with it, because some of the drum beats are not at all on. Guitar, bass, vocals. See, a lot of these 4-track songs were really experimental, because it was just me having fun and me and Clay having fun, and they were never intended for anyone else to hear. So This is one of those songs. It's a song. It's good, but it's not a pop song. You're not going to play it on the radio.
You weren't recording it to be on an album or to be on the radio. It was just something for fun.
I was never recording it for anyone to hear, but me, Clay, and our girlfriends. That's it.
And now we're going to hear it live on YouTube.
The video, however, was shot last week in my yard, because nobody can go anywhere.
That's the best way to shoot a video. All right, let's take a look right now. Here's Pictures.
All the time you look outside, you drain your songs out loud to my eyes. 'Cause everything you hold so dear is just an inch or two under here. Memories
And we're back. Aaron, thanks so much for coming on our show. I really appreciate it. Before we go, we've got to make sure that everybody watching knows where to find you, because it sounds like there's going to be a lot of updates coming down the pike. So where's the best place to find you online?
Best place to find me online. Well, so I have a habit of buying, of registering fun URLs. So there's a range of ways to find me. Okay. You can go to aaronsarlo.com.
Okay, Aaron Sarlo. Okay, well that's going to be the easiest one since your name will be in the title of this YouTube video.
Well, but really a lot of people don't know how to spell Aaron, and most people don't know how to spell Sarlo. So you could also go to penistsunami.com.
Penis Tsunami.
Bought after my world famous song Penis Tsunami.
Well, why not? I mean, when you come out
which
with
you
a
can
song
hear
called
right now,
Penis Tsunami, then you might as well get penistsunami.com, because you're thinking, well, nobody probably has that. So, oh, that's a good one. Are there any more insane URLs that our viewers?
Well, I was on there a couple of months ago, and as a gift, I bought my sister I'm a whore.solutions. But she doesn't have a website. I'm a whore.solutions.
Solutions.
I know. That's what I thought when I saw it. I was like, well, who doesn't buy that? Who doesn't want that?
Oh, that's good.
You can go to I'm a whore.solutions. I am a whore.
Oh, it's I am, not I'm. Okay.
No, it's I'm. No, it's
it
I'm.
Is I'm.
I'm
okay.
a whore.solutions.
I'm a whore.solutions. Okay.
Yeah, you can go there. That goes to me.
Gosh.
PG-13 cash grab.
PG-13 cash grab. Is that .com?
.com. That goes to me.
Is there a dash on the PG-13, or is it just PG-13?
I don't think so. I don't think so. There is in the actual rating, but I don't think I wanted to mess with that in the domain name.
Sure. Yeah. Make it as simple as you can.
Right. Duckstronaut.com. You can get there at duckstronaut.com.
Okay, Duckstronaut. Okay, great.
Now, Josh, we're getting into a gray area of bad language. Do you want me to share any of these?
Go for it.
Are you sure? I don't.
I'm sure. Let me start a second page here. Okay. All right. Let me take a deep breath. All right.
So one day I thought, I wonder if anybody owns the domain iloveeatingpussy.com. Surely someone bought that. Nope. So you can go to iloveeatingpussy.com, and that goes to me.
No.
Then I immediately thought, oh my God, what about ilovesuckingdick.com? And nope, nobody had registered ilovesuckingdick.com.
Wow.
So you can go to ilovesuckingdick.com, and that goes to me.
Now that is very surprising. I'm like you. I would be very surprised. Now I could see maybe a .net, .tv, .info, but I would assume .com would be someone would grab that at least for a joke or to make fun of someone. And
I mean, someone did buy it as a joke.
Well, right, but I mean, it's amazing that someone didn't buy that before just to post a picture of someone they didn't like and post that on there and go.
You actually can't do that. You'll get in trouble.
Uh-oh. Well, let me. I better write that down. Let me take some websites down later. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's like when I named the Dangerous Idiots, which I think is the only band I've named. It was back in 2009. I thought, for sure, there's a band called the Dangerous Idiots, but there wasn't. I can't believe that sat around for my dumbass to have to think of. So there's a lot of gems out there. If you just think of a phrase, probably it's not been registered. Go ahead and just get that, because when you meet someone, aaronsarlo.com. How do you spell that? No, ilovesuckingdick.com. Oh, they know how to spell that.
They can find. They can.
They'll remember that website.
Yep. Oh, okay. Well, the only thing I'll say is the next time you come back on, we expect more clips of stuff that you've unearthed and now have mixed, especially some like something from Kid City or Dangerous Idiots. But I'm also going to expect, and I think our viewers are also going to expect, a whole new set of URLs that they can type in to get to your website. So you better start thinking of some new ones and buying them up, because this is just not enough for our audience. They need more. I can hear them right now typing in the comment. That's not enough. We need more. Is he going to come back on with another 5 or 6? So
yes, I will.
Yes, you will. Yes. All right, I love it. Aaron, thank you again for coming. AaronSarlo.com, PenisTsunami.com, I'm a whore.solutions. I think that's my favorite one.
That's the winner.
PG13cashgrab.com, Duckstronaut.com. That one's a little, you'd have to think about it to spell it. You're not going to have to think about ILoveSuckingDick.com. So there you go.
It comes down.
There you go, guys. Aaron Sarlo, thanks again for coming, and
Thank you.
We will see you later. We got to get Shane Gray to come on and tell some funny stories now. He's come on and done a little music review. We'll have to get him on and do some stories, and then maybe we can Aaron. Let me ask you this: what are the odds of a Techno Squid Eats Parliament Zoom interview, the full band? Could we do it?
That sounds fun. Could we do it? Because I've got a feeling that if we get all of you guys in a little Zoom meeting together, you're all going to start remembering things that you didn't remember, and that's going to start awakening other memories, and the whole thing will snowball, and then everyone will incriminate themselves, and we will have a really good show. So I'm going to plant that seed. You start thinking about it. I will.
And I think that's a great idea, and I think the Techno Squid fans think that's a great idea as well. So I'm just going to plant that little seed, as Bill Hicks would say, and maybe something will grow. And thanks for coming. Stay safe. Keep the family safe, and we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. Although I did kind of force myself into your thing, but thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for being nice with the break-in. You could have done it. You could have done it a lot worse ways. So that was nice. So and you gave us some good entertainment. If you guys didn't see it, you got to go back and watch last week's show with Jess Margera, and you'll see the little break in there. And it confused our sidekick Wyatt. He had no idea what was going on. He's like, "What? What's going on?" I didn't tell. He had no idea it was anything going on, and we all got confused here in the studio. Anyway, go back and watch that. Go to AaronSarlo.com or ILoveSuckingDick.com. That's a good one too. Easiest to remember probably. And we'll see you next time. Bye, Aaron. Bye.
Bye.
And we're back. I'm gonna punch the applause button there. And how about that? Let me adjust you a little bit. There we go. How about them apples? All right. Wait, are my sound effects working? Let me push the button. No, they're not. There we go. Then we're getting back in. Okay, now if you're paying even a little bit of attention, then you notice we talked about getting a Zoom reunion sort of thing going with all the original members of Techno Squid Eats Parliament. Well, since the taping of that, there's been so much interest and so many bands that fall into that exact same category of bands you'd want to see do a Zoom reunion. Well, it's going to become its own little special series, and I can't wait. We're going to do some Little Rock bands reunited. I've got a good wish list. Techno Squid Eats Parliament seems like a pretty good sure thing, hopefully. Morgan, Jeff is there in our studio audience. Jeff, I'm gonna throw you on here. Let me see if I can burp. There we go. There's one band that I'm thinking would be a good idea, and I was gonna get your opinion on to even think if we could do it. One of my favorite local bands back in the day was Curious George, which then turned into Six Shine.
Right.
Now, and it's funny that Wyatt's here because I, in fact, have the Curious George on a Tangent cassette that Wyatt bought for me at a dungeon show, I believe.
Oh yeah.
So
those were crazy times, man, with Jay and Clay and just all those dudes, man.
So, Jeff, what do you think? I mean, do you think we could get everybody that's left, everybody that's, because, Bobby Red is gone. But do you think we could get everybody else together? Do you think that's possible?
Well, CT's been trying to get those dudes back together for a few years now, and they're pretty scattered. Not everyone is, calmed down. There's still a lot of wild oats being sowed amongst a lot of those dudes. So,
Sure.
it's be pretty hard. I know Rocky was actually one of the more down members. He was like, let's do this. Jay was down, Clay was down, and their replacement guitar player, Casey, he was later in Six Shine.
Yeah.
He was down, but it's just everybody's just really scattered right now. I just don't know. Clay lives out in the woods, really, I think. I mean,
right. That doesn't
town.
Surprise me at all.
Yeah, he built Pallet Town, which is like a town pallets.
Oh my God, that's the most Clay thing I've ever heard.
Right.
And I mean, it's not going to be much of a good Zoom reunion without Clay.
He's somewhat though. Like, he shows up on Facebook every once in a while.
Well, here's my only thought. If we could get a few guys, and it's just a Zoom reunion thing they can do on their phones, and we're just going to chat and tell stories, do you think maybe the people that didn't agree initially, if they heard about it and we give them enough time, maybe they'd go, well, I want to do that. Everybody's doing it but me? Well, I don't want to be the only one not doing it. Maybe we can get a little of that and maybe convince a few people. What do you think?
Yeah, because, I mean, Clay would be the chaotic element there, but he is doing like a rap thing called Rackin' Crackers.
Okay.
And so he is like hanging around some other dudes with Wi-Fi. So
okay. Well, maybe we can get those other dudes. Maybe we can ambush him, trick him into it or something like that. Whatever it takes. All right, good input from Morgan. Now, if you want to be in our studio audience like Jeff, hey, you can do that next week. You can jump right in there. Now, I figured out how to get rid of the little waiting room. I'm new to Zoom. Don't blame me for that. So I think when you click the link, you'll just jump right in, and you don't have to wait for me to click the button. I think. I don't know. Also, I've got it set where after like 10 people, then I'm just going to lock it. I think 10 people is about the most we can really do and have any kind of non-chaotic thing. So hopefully next week we can get 10 people in here. What are we doing next week? Well, I don't know. We'll figure that out this week. Oh, gosh. Wyatt, I need you to start racking your brain, and Morgan, you also, if you can think of a band that might be a little easier to track down than those crazy boys in Curious George / Six Shine, then you let me know. I need some more bands. Now, the one I really want to get, partially because they're so much fun, and also because there's so many members, it would be such a big challenge. Can you think of what band I'm thinking of? Come on, Come on.
I think I know who you're thinking of.
There's
Are you
only
talking about Sufi Nun Squad.
You got it right on the nose, my friend. Sufi Nun Squad. So if we can get Sufi Nun Squad, that would make a heck of a series premiere. There are several bands that I personally would really love to see, but the challenge would be Sufi Nun Squad. I don't know an exact head count, but I want to say I was just assuming like a dozen, like at least a dozen, or maybe 13. So
yeah, if you can get like 8 of them, that would be pretty amazing.
That would be amazing.
Like,
if I could just get
or 45 or however many nuns they have in their squad. I don't know, but yeah, if you can get 8 solid nuns, that would be amazing.
That's like 70%. If I can get like 65-70% of the nuns, then that's a pretty good squad.
Dude,
I think.
That's passing in high school.
Okay,
so
you're right. You're right. Okay.
So 8 nuns is what we need.
All right, we'll get on. We got Lyerly and oh gosh, we got everybody. There's so many people to contact. Oh, that's going to be such a challenge, you guys. Now, me personally, what I want to see is the Baileys. And you're both going, who? And that's okay. But that's why I want the Baileys, is because I want to play some Bailey songs, and I want everybody to know how much fun the Baileys were, because they weren't around a whole long time, and they just recorded a couple of cassettes, and that was it. And I took those cassettes and made a CD out of it, because I'm that kind of nerd. And I play those songs on our show sometimes during the beginning. It's Ashtray Babyhead lately, but before that it was the Baileys. And that's who I want to see. So Johnny Mac, Brad, and Brian, I want to see those 3 guys. And occasionally Jason. Occasionally Jason was in there playing secondary guitar there towards the end. So that's the one I want to see. But I also want to see, we've got Techno Squid Eats Parliament, we've got Curious George, maybe. Sufi Nut Squad, big challenge. So you two, put your heads together. Think about some other bands that we might be able to get a little more easy than these, and the ones you want to, even if even if they don't have, a massive fan base. Maybe that's it. Maybe we don't. The ones with the big fan bases, that's cool. But I want to see the ones that that people didn't know. That we can introduce people to them, right? Say, hey, here was a band I liked, and you never heard of them, and here they are. So I'm tired. I did a lot of yard work today. I built a bunch of raised garden beds outside, and I think I got some sunstroke.
You have a life outside of the show? Like, you do things other than this show? That's crazy.
They let me go outside for about 5 hours a day, and but it's all
recreational time.
Well, no, it's all forced labor. It's all forced labor. I wear the ankle chain, and I've got a pickaxe and a hammer, and I've got a nice basic set of tools, and I get out there and work in the sun and earn my keep, and then I
on the roof with the shotgun and a pair of aviator glasses, just staring down at you.
She likes to shoot me with rock salt right in the butt. That's
nice.
Yeah. That's her thing. But hey, that's why I love her.
That'll keep you motivated.
Yeah. Okay, guys, make sure you tune in next week for, I don't know, some kind of something that we're going to do. And, oh, man. Hopefully we'll get a few more people in our studio audience for next week. We're going to start throwing out incentives and things. And I got buckets full of 3D printed stuff down here, so maybe I'll start throwing that stuff at people. Like literally just start throwing it through the internet at people, because I have that technology now. And we'll debut that next week on the show. Thanks for watching Spooky Talk Show. Bye.